There is a lot to discuss here after a busy weekend. Let's bring in RNC Senior Communications Advisor and Senior Communications Advisor for Black Media Affairs, Paris Dennard. Paris, thanks so much for coming on today. We appreciate it. The first thing I want to ask you is if you're noticing the politics of Black voters changing at all because of this seemingly endless riots and protests.
Thanks for having me. I don't think that it's only can be attributed to the rioting. I think that is one of the strong issues that are causing the Black community to look at this election even more closely, because they see one candidate, Joe Biden and his team, which are funding the bailouts for rioters and these lawless looters. And you see the other campaign, which is the Trump campaign, actually providing assistance, millions of dollars going in for Kenosha in Wisconsin, Operation Legend, which is trying to curb the violence that we see across the country. We see the president strongly condemning these acts of violence and this lawlessness, this crime, these deaths. And he's actually standing up for Black businesses, which are suffering. So that's one reason. The other reason why I think you see a turn in the polls for the president in a positive direction, you saw it in the Zogby poll, Trafalgar poll, Harris polls, a CNN poll.
And we can pull up that Zogby poll right now while you're talking.
Yeah, and even a Rasmussen poll, which all showing that the president's share in the Black vote is going up. It's because this economy is also working. It's an inclusive economy. It's also working for the Black community. When you look at Black unemployment going down by 1.8%, you see the president's support for the Black community increasing because he has policies that are benefiting the Black community. He's strong on school choice, strong on HBCUs. These are things that are resonating with the community. And when you look at the contrast between the two campaigns, what they're proposing for the future and what they've done in the past 4 years, or in Joe Biden's case, 47 years, the contrast is very clear. That's why the campaign put out a series of urban radio ads starting today across the country in target markets that are highlighting Herschel Walker and Democrat State Representative Vernon Jones, highlighting the contrast between the two candidates. These efforts, this consistent engagement by the RNC and the Trump campaign is clearly making a difference.
Paris, I want to go to a soundbite from, you mentioned Black-owned businesses have been affected by some of these riots. I want to play a soundbite from a lady whose business was destroyed in North Carolina. Take a listen.
When I got here and saw the damage that had been done to the building, I thought about how much time and effort we put into bringing it back. And then in just a moment's time, the destruction that was done.
You know, yesterday we saw Kamala Harris meet with small business owners in a roundtable, although she didn't take any questions from them, which I thought was really interesting. Do you think that Black business owners, Black entrepreneurs are really seeing that the Trump system is working for them more? Are you seeing uptick specifically in that demographic?
Yes, this is why we are heavily engaging the Black community in North Carolina specifically. But when you look at what's happening across the country with this lawlessness and the violence that is happening to Black small business owners, you know, this coming up is Minority Enterprise Development Week at the Department of Commerce's Minority Business Development Association, MBDA. And it's because this administration has been a champion for Black-owned businesses. And Black women are the largest growing segment of entrepreneurs in the country. So when you look at the damage that's done by these rioters and this lawlessness, on top of the impact, the negative impact that COVID that came from China that has had on the businesses in the Black community, it's taken a toll. The Black community wants a leader. They want somebody that's sticking up for them. They want somebody that has the action behind it, not just rhetoric. Kamala Harris can meet with whomever she wants, but the rhetoric does not match the action. And the action that the Black community wants is somebody that is going to call for an end of this lawlessness, that's going to have lower taxes, that's going to have deregulation, that is going to have trade deals that are positively impacting these small businesses able to compete globally. These are the pieces of action that the American people, the Black community wants, and they're not seeing it in Joe Biden, and they certainly aren't seeing it in Kamala Harris.
You know, you spoke about Kamala Harris meeting with people. She also met with Jacob Blake's family, talked to Jacob Blake on the phone. We also showed Joe Biden do this just a little over a week ago. Clearly, Trump has not. Also, Pence has not. I know that they have reached out. But do you think this is a sticking point for the Black community? Because we also saw this juxtaposition with George Floyd and his death.
No, I think the Black community is going to want action. We don't have all the details and all the facts about what led to the shooting with Jacob Blake, but we do know that there was some incidences and some issues that happened with Jacob Blake that led to the police even going to there. So we need to have all of that fleshed out. But at the end of the day, the president is leading on issues that the Black community cares about, and he's strong on it. The only person to take action after the death of George Floyd has been President Trump, with his executive order on safe policing and for safe communities. When Senator Tim Scott, the lone Black Republican senator, tried to introduce his legislation, which the president supported, called the Justice Act, Senator Dick Durbin, Democrat, actually said it was a token piece of legislation. The Democrats blocked it, and it's still blocked it. So if the Black community and other people who are interested in change and action after these deaths are looking for it, they're not finding it in the Democrats, because all they do is block, all they do is talk. They're not about action. President Trump has acted, and he supported Senator Tim Scott's Justice Act. That's what the Black community wants: action, not just rhetoric.
Okay, fair enough. Paris, we have had commentators come on, though, and say that the president needs to be seen going into Black neighborhoods, be seen talking to these people if he's going to try and get their vote. Do you agree with that? And are we going to see that?
I think the president has taken his message to the Black community everywhere. Look at these radio ads that the campaign just released in urban areas. I talked to Black media.
What about physically going into the neighborhood?
I think that you've seen the president meet with Black leaders in different places. He's been to Detroit, and he has had Black people at the table. He was in Kenosha, and he had two Black members of the clergy there present. We have Black Voices for Trump community centers all across in urban areas. So the president is meeting with Black people. He is meeting with them where they are in terms of in the community and at the White House. And the Trump campaign and the RNC are working collectively to also engage with communities of color all across the country, especially through our Black Voices for Trump community centers and as well as our Latino for Trump community centers. So the president is present. The campaign is president.
Is there anything else you're advising the president to do in the next 2 months to try and up that number? It looks like that number's going up, the Black vote. Is there anything you're advising him to do to further that?
Yeah, I am encouraging the campaign. I know the RNC has been leading in this effort as well to be engaged in the process by highlighting the record of accomplishments that this president has for the Black community. It's impressive. The president has a long record in just 4 years of accomplishments for the Black community with education, with school choice, HBCUs, criminal justice reform, the things that he's done with opportunity zones and small business and deregulation. Even during COVID-19, we've seen consecutive decreases in unemployment for Black community go down for 3 months straight. These are positive things. And when you look at the issues that the Black community cares about, we can simply look and say, what has Joe Biden done? Absolutely nothing. He's called us predators. He said he didn't want his children to go to an integrated school because it's become a racial jungle. He's praised segregationists and said that he was proud to work with them. And he said, you ain't Black. And he said, we're not diverse. We're highlighting the differences. We're highlighting the contrast. And we're aggressively doing this because the president has a winning record for the Black community that he should champion, that the administration should champion, that the White House should champion, that every agency should champion, the RNC is championing, and the Trump campaign is going to continue to promote it because we have a winning message of actual change, actual action, and actual things that are benefiting the Black community. And that's what we're going to continue to do from now, especially on the debate stage and into November.
Right. We'll have to look forward to seeing that debate stage. I know we are. Here comes September 29th, I believe, is the first debate. I know that people are eager for that. Paris, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.